What's up guys, today I'd love to share with you the best opening trap in the Italian game for white. And not only it allows you to crush your opponents, but you're gonna win in style with a truly buonissimo move. You start off by playing pawn to e4, they usually respond pawn e5, now knight f3 attacks this pawn, they defend it, and you go bishop c4. The good thing about this trap is that it occurs in the most played opening sequence of all. In this position, your opponents will usually either develop their knight or their bishop, but it doesn't matter for us, we're gonna get the same position anyway. So let's say they go knight f6, and you just play knight c3, bishop c5, pawn d3. You see I said it doesn't matter if they develop their bishop or knight first, because that would only transpose to the same position. Now what we do is we wait for them to castle, and as they do so, you then go bishop g5. So far you may think that it's nothing special, so far indeed, but the surprise is going to happen right on the next move. When you've got this bishop g5 pin, they're usually annoyed by it because you might just play knight d5 and put even more pressure onto this pin knight, therefore they usually play h6. And what do people do here? Well, they either go back or trade, something like that, right? But you instead are going to play pawn h4. And this is a really sophisticated trap, as it's extremely difficult for black to find the way out. And first and foremost, they cannot really tolerate this pin anyway, because if they do nothing, you're just going to get to this knight d5 and, destroy their castle and attack it. Therefore, they'll probably have to accept it. Now after a pawn takes, this opens up this h-file for your rook, and you see that all you gotta do is to bring your queen to the h-file somehow, and then you'll end up with this checkmate along the h-file. And I'll show you in a moment exactly how you do that. Now, besides that, you're attacking the knight right now. You want to get it back. So they'll usually play either knight to g4 or knight to h7. We're going to cover both. Let's start from knight g4, the most aggressive way of black. Now, we know that ideally speaking you want to bring the queen over here, but right now it's not that easy to do that. So what do you do then? Well, you then exploit one more tactical motif. You play pawn g6, taking advantage of the fact that you've got this powerful bishop here, pinning this pawn, and so this g6 puts a lot of pressure on black. But your opponent will be thinking, hey, wait a second, I can just go knight takes f2, and now I'm attacking the queen, the rook, and I'm just winning the game. But you're not going to back down and try to defend one of your pieces, right? Who cares? You're just playing knight takes e5, giving away one more piece, because you're a generous person anyway. Now, what's the beauty of this combo? Well, you want to play queen h5, queen h8, or h7. That's the general idea, right? If they play knight takes d1, accepting your queen sacrifice, then it leads to this beautiful checkmate. Pawn takes f7, they have to give up the rook because you cover these squares, their king cannot go there, so rook takes is forced, bishop takes, check to the king once again, king f8, you keep chasing the king with the rook to h8, check to the king once again, king goes here, and now your knight jumps into play, kind of similar to Legal's checkmate a little bit, and then the only move for them is to go forward, king to d6, and now you don't even need their queen, because you instead play knight c4, delivering this really astonishing checkmate. Okay, now I'll show you the final variation of this particular trap, but let me also mention that if you have any questions about the Italian game, generally speaking, if you played with either color, either with white or black, I've got another video where I cover it in greater details. It's like a quick crash course of the Italian game. I'm sharing all the main ideas, strategies, etc. You can click the link in the description and check it out later. For now, let's come back to the main variation that we're analyzing. After h6, you bravely play pawn h4, offering this bishop, and as he captures it, this helps you to open up the h-file, plus you're attacking this knight on f6. Now we have just discovered that knight g4 leads to this really beautiful variation down the road. What if instead your opponent goes knight to h7, trying to hit your pawn that way? Well, this move, although it's the most played by black actually in this position, it's a straightforward blunder, because now g6 is even stronger. Your opponent still cannot capture your pawn, because it's pinned down to his king, so this pawn cannot move. Plus now you're attacking this knight, and that's how you just win. Let's say your opponent goes what can he do? For example, knight to f6, right? Just returns the knight back. Then you can increase the pressure by going knight to g5. And now you're attacking this pawn on f7 3 times, and basically black has no way to defend it. Simple g takes f7 is coming, and that is it. Let's say he tries d5 to somehow close the diagonal for your bishop or to distract you from your plan. I mean, basically any meaningful capture will win the game here, but the most straightforward is bishop takes d5, just so that you maintain these threats along this diagonal. And if your opponent captures the bishop, again, there are probably different ways to handle this, but the most beautiful one is rook to h8. That's another really useful combo for you to remember, because it works in different variations of this trap. Rook h8 forces black's king to f8, to h8, and after that queen h5 counts with a check. That was the point of that sack. So king g8 is forced, and now you finish it off with queen to h7 checkmate. If you are an intermediate or advanced level player, I've got an interesting quiz for you here. We know that, I've just got one step back, we know that rook to h8 check followed by queen h5 check wins the game, right? It's checkmate in 3 moves. But what's wrong with the move queen to h5? At first it looks like it's winning just as well, but in fact it isn't. So you've got to find the right move for black. Let me flip the board for your convenience. So if you can find the right move for black here that saves the game and in fact wins the game, please write it down in the comments below. Let me also remind you that I've just launched the course Level Up Your Chess, which is the new course that I've created. I've summarized my coaching experience over the last 15 years, and I've took the methods that help my students get to the next level in chess, and I compiled them into a single course. And I'm pretty sure that even using one of those strategies will be enough to reach your current chess goals. So if you're interested, you can click the link below the video in the description and join the course right now for a couple more days. You can get it with a 50% discount, plus get another course, Calculate Till Mate, for free, which normally sells for $100. So I'm eagerly waiting for you on the inside, and I hope that you enjoyed this particular video just as well. Have a great rest of the day. Take care.